Better late than never. It is Wednesday morning at 10:13. Boogie with the Bull morning caffeine is on the air for Wednesday. I hope everybody brought their favorite morning caffeine vessel and their favorite type of morning caffeine in it. Bubba, which I've been using as a 24-ounce cold cup, got a promotion the other day because Bubba is actually a fantastic 24-ounce hot cup. So that's what we are using this morning. We are live on the Dave Glovin profile and somewhere on YouTube on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. You have to look for it, but it is there. And with me today, my partner in crime this morning, Randy Rhodes. You know him from All Roads Lead to Home, Genealogy Services. And even if Randy tells you when I stopped talking that he closed the group, shut it off, took it off of Facebook, burnt everything, and will never speak of it again, if you need genealogy services, please go to find Randy Rhodes and on Facebook. And his prices are the best. His technology is somewhere between. It used to be the best, then it was seriously cleaned out and regurgitated older devices. And I'm going to talk with Randy one of these days, because if his technology person is someone that I know, I want Randy to plug that person if that person wants to be plugged. I don't care about any negativity that may come from it, because if it's who I think it is, that person is a very smart technology person. Well, let me ask you, Randy, is his initials DN?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. DN got a bad rap from another broadcast that he was on, to the point where he had to change his name in order to be in live chats and all of that stuff, and it always came back. But DN is a very smart person, and maybe one morning, if DN is awake, we'll get him on and we'll talk technology. Maybe on a Saturday morning when we have more time, because Randy makes it sound like DN got into his device probably through a PC Anywhere or something that allows him to access your device. And those devices are fantastic. But if someone knows what they're doing once they get in there, and they, for lack of putting it better, do a serious douching of your computer, you will often find that your vintage technology, as Apple calls it, comes back to life even better than going off and buying something new. And I know, because I'm the world's biggest technology kid, I see something new on Facebook in the news feed or somewhere in an ad or an email, and I'm running to my wife going, I gotta go buy it. I gotta go buy it. I gotta go buy it.
Yeah. So, real quick, he got into my computer, like you said, through a software app that he has, where he can access, and I can see everything he's doing, so I know he's not doing anything screwy. But for the longest time, my all-in-one computer, which is like 6 years old, maybe a little older, lost the ability to do live streaming and keep the stream steady. And also my CD-ROM stopped working, so I couldn't play my CDs. And a few years back, when my mom passed away, I grabbed all the photograph albums my dad and her took over the 60 some odd years of being married. And I wanted to keep them like that, but they smoked for like 60 years. And I don't smoke. So when I brought them into my house, oh my God, the stench that just emanated throughout the entire house. So I took all the pictures and I scanned them onto a disc, and I threw away all the pictures in the actual albums. And then the CD-ROM stopped working. So he got in there and he showed me where the software that was in that PC was like 10, 11, 12 years old and outdated. So he had the ability, and I won't tell you how, but he had the ability to update every single thing that computer had from when I bought it brand new. And then the CD-ROM started working again. I
Yeah.
thought, oh my God, because I started putting my disc in it that had my parents' pictures in it, and it brought me to tears. It really did. Being able to see those pictures again. So he is very, very, very good what he does.
I need someone like him to get in and basically, like I said, do a serious flush on the Chromebook. But most people, like I said, most people, and even he did at times, told me you really got to get rid of the Chromebook and get into a Windows 10 or 11 desktop.
It took him like 5 hours a day. I think it was like 3 or 4 days he spent on me.
Yeah.
And the computer runs like a champ. The only thing it won't do is it won't do the live stream because it needs a new driver, which I can't afford. But what happens is using StreamYard, okay, like I do most of the time, the CPU maxes out as soon as StreamYard makes the connection. The CPU and that all one just maxes out to 100%, and it just dogs down. So, so that's why I got a new tower.
Oh, good. I'm glad. New toys. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you. New toys are fun. New toys are fun. You know, they really are. But anyway, what's new and exciting? I mean, I hear that President Trump is thinking about Marjorie Taylor Greene, or Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying that he's seriously thinking about her for his vice president. And like I said, we were talking in the green room before we went on, and I'm perplexed. I don't think it will cost him Republican votes, but maybe it could, because as others who have sat behind the mic here on Facebook and YouTube broadcasts have said, what has she done in the House that would make her worthy of...
Oh, come on. She's done a lot. I mean, obviously, you know, her being able to get some bills passed is stymied by the Democrats. Well, I'll tell you what, she is a bulldog. Oh my God! If some of the men in the Republican office was like her, I mean, I love it. She's up there. Do you see this? And there's like new pictures on here of Hunter and the little children. And she doesn't care who she embarrasses. Like, oh my God, there you go, girl. Bring it out.
The Biden administration and that laptop have no reason to be embarrassed. No more complaining that it's fake. There are so many testimonies that I have watched in the House and in the Senate where Jim Jordan in the House and I think Josh Hawley in the Senate have both made it clear, some of others, Matt Gaetz, that we know FBI cyber, the best cyber, whatever you want to call them, in the world, has that. And they had it for 3 years before they acknowledged that they had it. And they know everything that's on it. Plus, I also read today, I guess, that a judge came back and in one of the Hunter Biden tax cases said, no, he's going to have to face the music on this one. And I put it down thinking, what does that mean? Or are they going to wait until after the November election to see if Joe Biden is not the president and then slam him senseless when his father is not the president? To me, that's what I think they should do. I think the Democrats are hoping that Joe Biden will just finish the term. He won't be reelected because they won't run him, and they'll cut all kinds of ties with him because they're convinced that he can't remember anything. And then I was thinking about this yesterday. Well, they say he can't remember anything. What happens is after he's a private citizen, his brain kicks back in somewhat, and he says, I won't spend the rest of my life in prison. And he starts naming names.
See, you know, it's just like a person who does a horrific murder and she's found guilty by reason of insanity. if I'm not mistaken, that person gets put into a psych ward, being medically treated, and then when that person is deemed sound of mind again, then that person will get Tino's keeps saying she. Then that person then gets retried and faces, the prison sentence in a regular prison.
Didn't that happen in the guy that was head over heels over Jodie Foster?
Yes.
That took the shot at President Reagan. That they held him, and they held him for so long to where I guess they finally said he's not. I guess his mother was able to petition the place where he was and convince them that he's not, that he's harmless, and he's now home. Whether or not he's harmless, I don't know. I don't really care. But the Democrats might be happy if that happened with Joe Biden, because they sent him to prison for a long time, only because he's got to be by himself in a separate wing or separate building. His Secret Service people probably aren't happy because they got to go with him. I don't know if they stay there with him. I guess there are 3 shifts a day that will have to be with him. But we're just screwed up. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard of any time in presidential history where a person running for president, the party seems to be hoping that, let's get him elected, but we know he's not going to make it through. And I'm not talking about assassinations, just his physical and mental health. He's not going to make it through.
Yeah. Along with that, I keep seeing these news things where it shows, Trump at like 45% and he's at like 42, 43%, meaning Biden. Like, how in the hell can he be neck and neck in the polls with Trump when the guy is not campaigning? The guy has all kinds of issues. Just what he did with Easter Day should have been enough to tank him for the rest of his career. It boils down.
He's going to go. He's going to go down with. I'm going to refer to him as the April Fool's president for the rest of his life, and even after. I'm sorry to cut you off, Randy. I will apologize because I always do. But continue.
I think the problem that we're facing on the right is the media. The media is so damn determined to keep the left in power that they're willing to falsify reports and print fake information. And if you do it enough times where it stays in the people's eyesight and hearing, they're going, a large portion of the population is going to believe it. But I think along with the media is the biggest problem we're going to have on the right is all these damn illegals that the Democrats are hell bent to allow to be able to vote, not have to worry about showing any type of ID or to even have a signature to vote. You're talking about 40, 50 million or more illegals who have the potential to vote for the Democrats. No Republican is going to be able to stand up against that kind of numbers.
And if we were talking about Republicans in the House and Senate supporting this kind of thing, over 40 or 50 million illegal immigrants, we would all be up against the wall at Gitmo being shot and falling into a grave like Hitler had. This is it. And then what really bothers me even more is I read about Oyster Day, but it was daily, whatever the daily paper over there in England is called. They covered it. nobody in the United States, whether they were anti-Biden or for Biden, well, anyone for Biden wasn't going to cover it, but I didn't see anyone here in the United States covering it.
Covering oyster what?
Oyster Day.
Oyster Day.
You didn't see Oyster Day? There's a video of Biden standing up looking out a window at the White House. And this isn't something someone put together. This seems to be, or AI, this seems to be him standing there next to Jill, and Jill's waving behind him, and he's waving, and he says, Happy Oyster Day. And I'm waiting for someone to tell me that this was fake. But evidently, looking down at the White House grounds, I guess during the Easter egg hunt at the White House over the weekend, it appears he looked out the window and said, Happy Oyster Day.
Oh, yes. I saw that.
And it's not this. It's not like it. From what I've been able to look at, it's not anyone saying, "Oh, it was satire" or it was AI.
I mean, there is a National Oyster Day, but I remember hearing that in the news.
But he wasn't talking about oyster. Well, if he was talking about Oyster Day while he was looking out the window from the White House on Easter Sunday, he shouldn't be president anymore.
Well, I mean, the fact that he now I did do my due diligence on the Transgender Activities Day. So back in 2009, this transgender, for whatever reason, thought that the transgenders were not getting enough recognition. So somehow it managed to get passed on the 31st of each month to be set aside to be called Transgender Day. And it just so happened that Easter fell on the same day as the Transgender Day celebration. I didn't know this. I had to look it up. So if I didn't know it, how many more of us did not know about it? But by Biden making a proclamation to stand out alone, Happy Transgender Day instead of Happy Easter, he brought a ton load of Christian hatred against him and those who stand behind him for doing that. If he would have just left it alone, nobody would have known anything about it. The transgender could still have done their thing, and the Christians would have enjoyed a nice, happy Easter day. But no, he had to do something stupid.
I'm getting to the point where I'm done at 62 with anyone, Congress, president, saying we have to identify one day for these people, and one day for these people, and one day for these people, and not being able to just say every day is American Citizen Day, and whatever you are is what you are, and whatever I am is what I am. And to quote broadcasters who aren't here to say it themselves today, you be what you want to be while you want to be it, and I'll be what I want to be while I want to be it. And as long as it doesn't interfere with each of us being Americans, then who the hell cares? But taking a group of people, and in this case, it will sound like I'm picking on transgenders, but I'm not. But taking a group of people and planting their visible day on the same day that the Christian's Savior came back, I just think is a mistake. But we're talking about a president who claims to be Christian and favors late-term abortion. And by late-term abortion, I mean right up until the day of birth. There is plenty of video if anyone wants to challenge on the other side wants to challenge me, where Joe Biden as vice president looks into the camera and says to the lady who was interviewing him, Vice President Biden and President Vice President Joe Biden, and my dementia's going, and President Barack Obama do not support gay marriage. Now, take that one step further, and in my understanding, a male can transgender to a female, but that male's body is still biologically a male. So if a transgendered female is a biological male, marries a biological male, that's a gay marriage, isn't it?
Say that to me one more time. I've lost
If a transgendered female, who the science says is still a biological male,
okay,
marries a biological male, is that a gay marriage?
Yeah, I mean, okay. Now, if the male who transgendered to a female had his testicles and balls removed and had a fake vagina created, all that good stuff, and got the proper estrogen or whatever to bring out his boobs and things like that, and got rid of, and they have the ability now to get rid of that throat. So essentially, outwardly, you made this guy into a woman, but inwardly, he still has the DNA of a male,
the biology,
as well as the physical abilities.
If I understand it correctly, the biology says that you're still a biological male. And I can push it one step further, and I plan to if we got into this. Supposedly, the NCAA says that a biological male cannot compete against a biological female in sports. So you have Leah Thompson, who I can't confirm is a male or a female, but the biology says he is still a male competing against a biological female. And their rules say that it's not allowed, but they made an exception. Everybody's telling me, oh, they made an exception in this person's case. Well, see, this is the problem. This is the problem with the governing bodies of sports and the governing bodies of everything in this country right now. We make an exception for one person, and then the next day when someone else comes along, they may not make that same exception.
Well, didn't they make the exception because that guy won all those awards, and they didn't want to take the awards away from him?
Well, they were sued by Riley Gaines, a biological female who trained all her life to win everything that Leah Thompson won, and claims it isn't fair. And to me, you can't say the rules are if you're this, you can't compete against this because you have advantages as this that she doesn't have. So we equaled it out by ladies compete against ladies and males compete against males. And I've said, well, then you have to have a third league where transgenders compete against transgenders. I think it's going to be the end of high school sports the more I talk about it, because I've been saying, well, you got to have a men's locker room for the guys. You got to have a women's locker room for the girls. Now you got to have a transgendered locker room for them. And then I've gone as far as to say it may not end there, because now all of a sudden we have three genders. Who knows tomorrow what science is going to claim as the next gender?
A thought just occurred to me, and this is going to sound confusion. So if you do a third locker for a transgender, and in most cases, the news has been transgendered guys, okay, boys and men. So you have a third locker room for a transgender male because he didn't make the complete changeover. So there's still that threat of him being able to rape a female that's in, or just embarrass a female in a locker room. So you have the third locker room for a transgender male, but would a transgender female also require their own locker because they're pretending to be a woman? They're pretending to be a
Well,
man in a woman's body.
I don't know, and the only reason I say I don't know is that we're not dealing with it being the same issue as Chastity Bono, the daughter of Sonny and Cher, becoming Chaz Bono, and going off and living the life that he wanted. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, I think, we're talking about men who transgender to female or claim that they have become female so that they can compete against females. And I have wondered is, okay, so you can't make it as a star male athlete. Are you really going to take your body and do all of that stuff to become a female? And
Yeah,
when is the decision that you have become a female? And Lisa Adams is a constitutional expert, and we've always tried to get her on broadcast, and we've never been able to get her on. But Lisa, I'm glad you're watching, and maybe one day we will get you on. But I'm glad that you were watching. But it isn't even constitutional questioning what is and what isn't. But where do we decide? When do we decide? Is it, I heard supposedly you could transgender, but then you had to be on estrogen for 2 years, I believe. And supposedly if you did that and you maintained the right levels, then I guess your DNA is tricked into thinking that it is now a female. I don't know if maybe it changes or not. I just, it really doesn't matter anymore, because what's going to happen is it's not going to be humans competing anymore anyway in sports. It's going to be the people who have the money buying a team made up of whatever they want it to be made up of. And it's going to be a doubleheader game. You're going to go to the game and the losing team is going to be fed to the Lions, as at the end of the game. So, it doesn't really, I'm not sure if it matters. And no, I hope that doesn't happen, but we're screwed up. I mean, I sit here at my desk every day, and I got bipolar 1 and 2, and now I have dementia, and it could bring on some Parkinson's. And, I can look in the mirror and go, you're one screwed up guy. But you know what? The United States of America is one screwed up country right now.
Yeah. When you look at, people see that we're screwed up for the way we think. But when you take a look around you and see what the hell is going on in this country, I mean, to be honest with you, right now, I don't think there's any nation really that can be said that are not screwed up. I mean, we all have our issues, and we're all trying. We're trying to. I've said this before on your show and other shows. 93% of our nation is trying to appease 7% of this nation. And the reason why we're trying to do that is because that 7% is very vocal and very violent. And we on the 93% are too damn afraid to stand up to them. I mean, they're the ones out there burning down our cities and killing our cops. And they're the ones getting the recognition. So we're going to give in to them. I mean, look at California. $20 an hour minimum wage now.
Yeah.
To flip hamburgers. So this one guy, he had a pancake house at a franchise, and he's closing up his doors because he can't afford to pass up to now. He's been passing on the expenses to the customer, but he's losing so many customers. And now with the $20 hour minimum wage, he's shutting down his business.
Has anyone ever followed this now? I mean, when Bernie Sanders, when when minimum wage was $7.50, and Bernie Sanders said you need $15. What Bernie Sanders was saying was, at $7.50 an hour, you were paying like $3.75 an hour in taxes. So now we're going to raise you to $15 an hour. You're going to pay $7. He's not telling you you're going to pay $7.50 an hour in taxes. You're still only going to net $7.50 an hour. So I wonder, when they keep telling these McDonald's people you need $20 an hour, is it going to be the same thing? Those people are probably making $10 an hour now, paying $5 an hour in taxes. They're going to get a raise to $20. They're going to pay $10 an hour, and in their pockets, if you look at their paychecks, they're still only making $10 an hour.
I didn't follow any of that because my brain's too slow, but $20 an hour, $20 an hour, when you take into consideration, first of all, you're going to be paying more taxes on the $20 an hour. So that's going to take away,
it's going to double over what right. That what I was saying was, and I'll slow it down. Bernie Sanders was telling people at $7.50 an hour, you need $15 an hour. The reason that he wasn't telling you, but the reason that you needed to make $15 an hour was because we want to raise the taxes that we're getting off of you. So at $7 an hour, when you're paying $3.75 an hour in taxes, if we raise it to $15 an hour, now you're paying $7.50 an hour, and you're getting $7.50 an hour in your pocket, but you don't pay any attention to that because now you're thinking, oh boy, I'm getting my wages doubled. But how many of them look at their stubs and realize it's the same $10 an hour?
And the problem is this: is now that they got raised to 20, what's going to take to 25? 25. Next thing you're on this damn auction block, and they're trying to keep up with the expenses because now you're getting paid $20 an hour. But businesses got to raise the price of their product and their service to make up for that $20 an hour. So you're not making that anyways. Or how about the ones who just shut down and then bring those electronic devices and let them take their places? Then now they're out of the job.
What if you're like, say, Randy Rose, for example, owns a Burger King and a McDonald's on opposite corners in the busiest intersection in Lancaster County, and he's making hand over fist. He's making $30,000 a day or more, a shift off of each person. So Randy sits down and he goes, I can afford to raise these people up to $1,000 an hour. But then he reads minimum wage is going to go up from $20 an hour to $25 an hour. And he says, well, I'll just pay him $25 an hour. My father, minimum wage didn't care, didn't matter. It was his minimum wage was what he thought it was worth for you to have that job. And that's what he paid. I mean, I think minimum wage was $5 or $6 an hour, and he was paying like $8.75 an hour.
I agree. Pay the person what they're worth. So if they're a skilled worker and only they can do that particular job to the quality that the employer is looking for, pay them good money. But where I draw a line is when you're paying a hamburger flipper. Let's face it, most of these restaurants nowadays, the hamburger flipper is a damn machine. And all you're doing is putting it into a bun and wrapping it up. Our military personnel, a U.S. Marine private, is being paid $14.85 a freaking hour, okay, to be in harm's way to protect our nation. But you're paying that kid $20 an hour to wrap a hamburger patty. Bullshit, okay?
Well, it also, if you go back and you talk to the biggest McDonald's franchisees, they will tell you that paying a burger flipper $20 an hour was never part of the plan,
Yeah.
because they hired so many people and then put them on the shifts and worked them and watched them. The people after like 90 days that didn't show any potential that they could go into become shift leads, shift managers, store managers, general managers, maybe one day McDonald's franchisees. Those that didn't show that they could enter the McDonald's corporate ladder, I think after 90 days, one guy I know said they were gone. If they didn't leave, they were gone. Just because that's how he finds people to eventually become managers of his franchises, and then either maybe one day move on.
Hamburger flipping was never meant to be a job to raise a family on. It was meant
Right.
for high school kids or junior high school kids to make some money to get in their pocket, to get that car, to blah, 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 have fun, go date night, whatever. It was never meant to have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 kids. Right. It was never meant to be that kind of a job.
I don't think any job at McDonald's until you maybe get into being a franchisee was meant to have that many kids. And that's not saying anything against having children. A husband and wife should have the right to decide if you can support and you want to have 20 kids, you should have 20 kids. But you're right. McDonald's was not meant. It was supposed to be an entry level job, so that maybe after dad and mom helped you buy that first car or gave you one of theirs because they bought a new one and you had just gotten your driver's license.
It was a way for you to save money to move out of mom and dad's house. That's what it was meant to do.
Or pay money to live at mom and dad's house. Whole thing about no. That whole thing to me about there comes a point where you have to move out of your parents' house. My father would have been very happy with us living at home forever if that's what we wanted to do. But at some point, it was we're going to charge you rent because you're eating food. So we're going to charge you a little bit toward the food that we feed you on. We're going to charge you a little bit for the electricity that you use. We're going to charge you a little bit for this, a little bit for that. And, maybe you're, I wouldn't have any problem. With that. Plus, it's kind of the shoes on the opposite foot. Now we live with our children, or one of our children. I don't see any problem with that.
Well, look at it this way. Here I keep reflecting to where I live here in Lancaster County. So in Lancaster County, we have a very large Mennonite, Amish, Dunkard, Quakers, population. And their family life is where you don't leave home. Okay, you build on to what you have. So of course they're almost all farmers. Okay, so they build these huge houses with at least a dozen bedrooms and so forth. They have 2 entryways. One for mom and dad, and one for the elder son. Okay, and then as the other sons come of age to get married and have their own kids, the father helps buy that farm for them to get started, and usually it's in horse and buggy distance, so they stay together. But you have like a dozen or so, and they have like a dozen or so or more kids because they need the help on the farm. So the dairy farm, the harvesting of crops, the whole farm community, okay? And they need all those kids, and they all put forth, and they all sit down, and they break bread together, then they go and they work, and then they wake up, and they do the same thing over again. And as they get older, dad helps them buy that first farm. And eventually, the elder son, when mom and dad get old or pass away, he gets the ownership of the original farm, and that's how they become millionaires because they keep the money in the family. And it's the truth; they are. They're
Yep.
millionaires.
They
So
are.
I get no problem with the child staying at home, and as long as they're helping to take care of the household expenses and so forth. Um, it's just there are some nationalities, some races are like the Puerto Ricans. They all stick together. The Asians. They all stick together. Multiple families inside the same house, but they put forth and they take care of the property. They put towards the expenses, and that's the way it should be.
Yep. All right, me and Randy, we're here on Boogie with the Bull, Wednesday morning caffeine, and we're moving along at 10:54. Please join us on the Dave Globin profile here on Facebook or the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Join us in the live chats and share your views. They are important, and we keep moving along until Randy Rhodes says, "I gotta go."
That's in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But okay. So let's talk some politics. Okay, so I see
What
that
have we
Trump.
been talking?
It hasn't really been politics.
Okay.
Okay, now I saw that Trump paid the 175, and I did some research, and what he did was he went to this multi-billionaire friend who owns an insurance company, and the insurance company put up the $175 bond to take care of that, responsibility, so that Trump can challenge the fake charges against him. So no money out of Trump's pockets, unless of course he screws up and leaves the country.
Well,
I guess
he also took in 6.4 billion.
Yeah,
Because truth. I mean, Trump Media and Technology Group, who owns TruthSocial.com, his website, went public and sold a boatload of stock.
Yeah, that's what surprised me. He all of a sudden he has this. You probably know more about this than I do. Okay, so now all of a sudden he's worth $6.4 billion more than what he was before. Now, is that actually cash in the bank, or is that just on paper?
It's probably on paper, and I don't know if it's actually liquid cash or if it's his shares of TMTG swelled to a value, including what they sold, of 6.4 billion. So where it actually lies is the money in his wallet. Is it money in a TMTG owner's account? I honestly can't tell you. I know that one of the reasons, part of the consideration in taking it public, was to help raise, at the time, what was the $500 million that he was going to have to pay, not the 1.75. And I hope that the outcome is that this moves to a court. He gets the 1.75. He gets, the 175 million back with the appropriate amount of interest, like he's supposed to. And what's her name? Letitia James and Fannie Willis, and whatever the other guy's name is, and the judge who was corrupted. I mean, when a judge walks into a courtroom and says, "Mr. Trump, I've already decided you're guilty, regardless. We don't really even need to have this trial," that's when it's time to take a judge off the bench.
See, it angers me to a point to where I start throwing stuff, and that's when you have to watch out, because I don't have very good aim. But that's why you got to give it to the guy. I mean, a lesser man would have said, "Screw this whole process. I'm done. I'm not going to fight this. The stakes are stacked against me. It's cost me too much money. I'm just going to take my beautiful model wife, my gorgeous kids. I'm going to sell off every property I have in the United States of America, cash it in, go to one of my many islands, and just enjoy the rest of my life. And I say, screw you guys, because you don't love me enough to, to actually want me. That's where I'd be.
I guess I guess it's just that I see it as he seems to remind us a lot that he's not doing this for himself. I mean, losing $175 million, yeah, you gotta, the reality comes in that, hey, I want to be your president. You want me to be your president. I agree with that. But hey, if it costs me $175 billion, or 175 million, and or they might take assets of mine away, then yeah, maybe like you said, it's time to buy an island and launch the Republic of Leave Me the Fuckalonica, and just do it. And I hope that Barron is paying a lot of attention to this and making notes, and not just going to end up, well, he won't end up in front of cameras because he's only 17 years old and he probably won't put himself in front of the cameras at this point in his life, and he probably shouldn't. But I hope that in the next 18 years, so around the time that Barron is 35, maybe we will see Barron Trump running for
oh my God,
the Republican presidency. I just don't. I don't see Don Jr. getting it because he's too much like he's too much like Don Sr. I don't know enough about Eric to know if he could get the votes. Personally, I don't think Ivanka wants it. I think she's very happy with her businesses and being part of the Trump organization, and maybe being involved with Jared, who is now on the road or has already become a real estate entrepreneur like his father-in-law.
Yeah. What's okay? Well, let's end up with this, because this is something that unique to us. Okay. What's with the crickets? What? I guess you can call them crickets. Going through that one city, that one to the United States, millions upon millions upon millions of locusts. The locusts going across the
cicadas.
Yeah, have you seen that?
Aren't they supposed to be released when the eclipse happens on the 8th?
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is all these people making such a big thing about the eclipse and end of times and biblical, and the only time that this kind of experience of the locust is before God does something terrible. Because every time that there's a release of the locusts, God did something terrible after the fact. So it's like everyone's trying to say it's just going to happen soon. Get ready for it.
I wonder if what people need to really start opening up their eyes to is God's just going to say, I'm tired of all this shit. I'm not sending you Jesus down a second time so that they can slam nails into your body and put you on something. I'm just not doing it. These people are so screwed up, and even the ones who aren't screwed up and are still listening to me aren't doing enough to convince everybody else that maybe it's just going to be time that maybe the eclipse is really when God is going to just turn it off.
You know what I envision with all the videos and real life experiences that people are starting to report on concerning all these UFOs and spacecraft that outdo ours, and they buzz our Navy ships and stuff like that, and they fly over our cities. Because I do believe they are real, me personally. Okay, I'm just waiting for that. What was that movie about the space?
Independence Day, when the mothership
no.
when the mothership is over the White House and blows it
yeah.
up from the
Well,
inside out.
Well, that's one.
Okay.
The other one where the other one where the guy's making a mountain out of mashed potatoes.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyways,
Richard Dreyfuss said, "I can see the mountain.
Yes,
I can see the model that he made, but I can't think of the name of the movie."
The other person's painting it. Yeah, something. Oh God!
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Thank you. Yes. That's the experience I think we're going to have. We're going to have this horrendously huge ship coming down, and the sky is burning away in front of it. And as it finally slows up and it hovers, and it's like, people looking up, and you got these idiots on the skyscraper saying, "Take me."
What if it's part of that was they opened the door.
Yeah.
All these people who had been missing.
Right. Came out.
So what if I was going to ask you, what if they're coming back to drop some off and take the rest of.
Well, there is another broadcaster here on Facebook who's had several people on his shows the past few times who has supposedly true information as to this is what's going on, that we're actually exchanging people for electronic devices and technology. And it's actual. It's there. The video's there. The documentation is real. And
if you have a chance to watch Michael Anthony's broadcasts on Facebook,
I didn't know if I was allowed to say that.
No, you can say it. You should. I unfortunately can't because I'm blocked. But if you have an opportunity to watch Michael Anthony's broadcasts on Facebook, please do.
Yeah, Michael talks way above my intelligence level. And I think he does it because the information that he is putting out there is legitimately secret information that's not to be shared, and that he has to talk in rhymes and rhythms to get the point across without getting himself into trouble. Even his guests have to speak around certain things. He has this one guy from England. Oh, God. He has this big white beard. I mean, this guy, he has, the accent's going on, and he has all this evidence, and he's trying to share without getting himself arrested because he was part of a organization that did the investigation, sort of like the X-Files kind of scenario. But, I do believe, and you see these damn pictures of, here's this guy with a cell phone back in the 1800s when they didn't have cell phones. And, all these little things like time travelers going on. I believe it. I'm sorry.
It has to be scary. And I mean this in a positive way, to be someone of that caliber. Because we sit here and, I joke around and make Boogie with the Bull broadcasts and hope everybody thinks that I'm this big media, big shot mogul guy that, knows everybody and talks to everybody, and the other everybody's talked to me, and we come here and do this. But the reality is, in that league, from the time you get out of bed in the morning, you got to be worrying. There's got to be something in the back of your head going, is it going to happen today? Could it happen today? When you lay down at night to go to sleep, if you can lay down at night to go to sleep, is it going to happen before I wake up?
And that's how
I respect him. I respect him more than he will ever know. or more than he will ever admit. But it's got to be crazy
Yeah.
to be up on that level.
No, I got this guy who follows me on my broadcasts on the road to Dixie. His name is Mario something. But when he makes his comments, I have no idea what the hell he's trying to say. It's weird words. It's a word dot 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 word dot 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 word dot dot word dot. It's almost like it's Morse code, secret agent information. And I say to him, I say, Mario, I said, I don't
say this with the most love and affection. And David Novi, if you see this, I want you to know that I actually mean this. We're all going to have to hire you to do the what do you call it, the subtitles?
Yeah.
So that in language that people can understand, or be there to translate. You know?
I mean, I even reached out to Michael because Michael kind of like talks in riddles too, and Michael doesn't understand what the guy's trying to say. I don't know. It scares me because every time I go live, he's there.
I just believe that people reach a point where you are so smart that you have had all of the conversations that people want to have with you. You've already had them. And it's not that they bore you, it's you've already had them. It's like, we all used to joke that Doc Pelzel, our radio instructor, had a PhD in chemical engineering, but he wanted to be the staff instructor of the college radio station. And that's what he did. But you couldn't have a conversation with him because after about the first 5 words, he would just look like he was totally bored because he was waiting to give you the answer. So,
yeah. Anyways, I had going.
All right. Hey, always a pleasure.
Yep, it's great to be here. Catch me on Sundays now. It used to be every other Sunday, but the people seem to be
reacting well.
Thank you. And they're giving me ideas on what to talk about. So I actually have 2 very good topics. One is about the David Hill farm during the Gettysburg battle. The other one is about a person's ancestor who was Sergeant Isaac Moore. And there's something special about him that there's a book written. Unfortunately, I looked the book up. That's $100 freaking. So I was able to find a couple of sites that actually took like a chapter or 2, and I was able to print them out. I get an idea.
Tell them
I did.
Tell them you're the All Roads Lead You Home Genealogy Library, and you need a discount for students.
Well, what I said was, I asked your relative to send me a copy of the book so I can talk about it and push it on my show, and get one free that way.
See if you can get the author of the book to come join you.
That too. So I do have a lot of good topics coming up. I am looking to bring on at least 2 more clients, paying clients for my genealogy. That's doing well. Folks, the things that I can find, the good things that I can find, that's phenomenal.
We have a problem with the guests that I don't, not personally with the person, but our technology and their technology and StreamYard just won't work. Are you able, if that person were to call into you, to put their audio, to bring their audio into the broadcast?
You're talking about that lady who was with Jen that night?
No, this is a guy.
Yeah, I got no problem. You're Sharon.
Robert Angel Little, who grew up in Romania. And came to the United States, and we tried to have him on, but unfortunately his laptop technology and And our studio technology and StreamYard technology just wasn't gonna work.
What I do is talk to him before doing any type of show to see if I can figure out what's wrong with his audio, and if I can figure it out and it sounds good, then yeah, we can do that.
I think the problem is that it's a I think you said 10 or 11-year-old laptop that runs very slow. And
well, then why doesn't he just call in the audio part on his cell phone and do the video without the audio from his laptop?
He could do that. We just need a slide or something for the screen, because I don't like the black box.
Yeah,
it just has somebody's name. But maybe
we work something out.
Maybe we can work on that.
Now I got my new tower
Friday.
back. My new tower works all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Friday morning, 10 a.m. Jen Woodruff, you, me, Bill Muckler, for as much time as he has for Red Friday, and possibility of something tomorrow night. So Ichabod Palmer, I see you just popped in. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. if you're available. We'll see if Jen's available. Randy, if you're available, I'm available. And we'll do at least an hour of Thursday Night Live if people are available.
Hey, Ichabod, reach out to me. I want to talk to you.
Okay, Ichabod, reach out to Randy.
Yep.
and all right.
So yeah, things going well. Tower's doing phenomenal.
Good.
I got the sound thing. I was actually my microphone was all wrong, so DN told me what to do with the microphone.
Yeah.
I actually had to for right now. I got it on this here.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be on foam, so it doesn't absorb the sound from the wooden desk. I actually had it faced wrong.
Yeah. If on an all-in-one, because like I said, I wasn't going to talk about it, but last before you go, the HP all-in-one that I've been looking at is the technology itself is fine, but the hard drive is only 128 gig. Is that? I'm afraid that's not going to be enough.
I would. Hey, David, 128 gigs. Is that good enough for streaming? He's watching us.
Is he watching you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's watching us.
David, you're more than welcome to watch. Okay, you're more than welcome to watch. The block that others put in my head is gone, and you don't have to come in as anyone else. You're more than welcome to be in the live chat, or maybe even come on one morning if you want to come on, or maybe one evening if you want to.
So moving forward, I'm trying to do. I know a lot of my on the road to Dixie has been a lot about combat. I want to try and get in some family stuff. I actually talk about the people, important citizens. I want to talk about, if I can find someone who can do a roadkill dinner within the hour confined of the show, that'd be great to see. So, I do have connections with some people who are going to reach out to me.
Ichabod serves roadkill at the Ichabod restaurant.
Yeah, see, then what happened was my
fresh roadkill from what I understand. They sit you down at the table and they show you pictures of what's available, and then they go out and then bag it.
Yeah, Dave said thank you for reaching out to him.
Yeah, I want him to. I have to talk to him and see if his abilities won't be wasted going through the Chromebook. Part of the problem is I chose AVG Premium as my virus protector, and I'm not sure it's working as well as it was ever designed to do. And other than that, after 3 years, the thing is probably seriously corrupted anyway. Yeah. But anyway, David, I'll talk to you. Yeah. I'll talk to you about it. Randy, I don't want to keep you.
I gotta go.
Later. Friday morning, like I said,
10 a.m.
for Bill Muckler and Red Friday and whatever else we talk about. And I will let you know for sure, but probably 7 p.m. Tomorrow night. Anybody, you, Jen, Ichabod, and maybe even David will join us.
There you go. He's texting one last thing. Let's see what he has to say here. But yeah, things going well here. I'm excited. Just spend more time in front of the computer. Well, my biggest problem is graphics. I get someone to create the memes for me, the graphics. But I do have this one guy who reached out to me. He's making my reels. So you'll be seeing more reels about my shows coming up.
Yep.
So
I like Facebook Live Producer for that. The only problem is that it's much more technical than most people know about. But,
yeah.
Anyway,
so
all right, Randy,
I gotta get going.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to do it or you want me to do it?
Go ahead.
All right. Randy, all roads lead to home, and the road to Dixie, and I'm probably forgetting everything else. And David Noby, who was watching through Randy. Like I said, you're more than welcome to come in and watch, David. Your technical information is always welcome. The only problem is that when we're doing something live and something live happens, it's hard for me to take my brain and pass part of it to somebody else and say, hey, tell us what we're doing and how we fix it, rather than just trying to fix it. In radio, it was easy because if it was a talk broadcast and something happened, then we just fired up a record on a turntable or a tape behind us, and or the news or something, until we got it fixed. Anyway, Ichabod Palmer, you're more than welcome to join us on tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Possibly sit at the table on Friday with Bill Muckler, who will probably only be here for about a half hour, 10 to 10:30. He usually jams so that he can be downstairs in his studio for the Bill Muckler show at 11 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday here on Facebook on the Bill Muckler profile and in the Bill Muckler show group. You should watch that. You should share it all over Facebook. You should take it and share it on all the other social media networks you are on. And help everybody live well and prosper. So like I said, tomorrow night, 7 p.m., Boogie with the Bull, Thursday night live will return. I took a little bit of time off from the broadcast to kind of just get my head a little gelled out and plot some new strategies. Wasn't bored with what I'm doing, just plot some new strategies and invigorate myself with a little bit more energy. And it's more fun with 24 ounces of morning caffeine in my Bubba. I'm very surprised. I bought this at Walmart. This is a 24-ounce Bubba. The handle was made by a vendor at the farmers market in Orange Park, which I think is every other Sunday. And if I can ever get a card from the guy, I'll let you know, because Bubba comes with these grooves that you can probably see if I wave it down. See the grooves, and the handle fits right in those grooves. But anyway, it is what it is. This is the part of the broadcast where I tell you have been watching Boogie with the Bull Morning Caffeine for Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. And if you want to be part of the broadcast tomorrow night, 7 p.m., let me know by 6 p.m., and we will get you in. There are only 8 camera slots available, one for me, one for Randy, one for Jen, if she's going to be available. So that at the moment is 5. Ichabod, if he wants to be there, is 6. Right? Me, Randy, Ichabod, Jen. That's 4. So there are still a few available. Either come to the Dave Glover live chat here on Facebook and let me know, and we will give you a link, and we will go from there. If we reach too many people that want to be on the broadcast, we'll have to shovel people around. We've never really had that problem, so it would be nice to have that problem. I think the most we've had on is 6. And then, like I said, Friday morning, 7 a.m., Boogie with the Bull morning caffeine for Friday. Bill Muckler joins us for Red Friday and a review of the Bill Muckler show from what will be this week, and maybe what he might have planned for next week. And we talk about his books, 2020 A Clear Vision for America, and 2020 A Clear Vision for Our Future. Both are available at 2020americabook.com, 2020americabook.com, or you can go to the Bill Muckler page or the Bill Muckler group, and you'll see the ads all over there and all over on Facebook. You should buy the book, read the books. From what I remember, they were written in 2015, and the information in them is as relevant as it was written 9 years ago as it could be used today. So buy the books, read the books, talk to other people that have read the books. I don't know if he's ever going to write any more political books. I know he's working on a novel that all of us that have his books, the 2020 books, are waiting for him to finish so that we can all buy it and add it to our collections. But you should watch, like I said, the Bill Muckler Show Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern here on Facebook. And also you can go to nextgen.com, nexgen.com, nextgen.com, and you can get it from there. If you're going to share it off of Facebook, make the effort and go over to nextgen.com and take it from there. That way people don't get kicked back to Facebook to watch it if you share it off of Facebook. But anyway, that's just how I feel. I don't know if that's how Bill feels. Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. If you're on the East Coast, if you're down here in Florida, it is supposed to rain and rain bad anytime and stay bad until around 4 o'clock this afternoon. So be safe. If you have to go out, travel safe. Slow it down on the roads and just be safe. And I think that's about all I got to say. I want to thank Randy Rhodes for joining me today. Ichabod Palmer in the live chat. He said that, let me flash this up and we'll read this from Ichabod. He's headed to Kearney, Missouri, I believe, today to estimate the Jesse James Cemetery. Get ready to see some restoration there next week. I know he has a broadcast that he's working on showing you some of the cemeteries that he is traveling to and doing restoration on and talking to you about all of those travels. And that plus he's a great guy. He was in working in a butcher for a long time, and that kept him busy. I know his wife, I think, has replaced him there, and so they're keeping it in the family. But it's time to get ready. And Ichabod Palmer's a great guy to talk to listen to about what is going on and how you need to prepare for it. So tune in tomorrow night, as I said, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we'll just have everybody pile in and share what it is they can. It was a lot of fun doing today's broadcast. So Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast has come to an end. I'm going to go feed me. We fed Delilah and Lola before the broadcast. So I'm going to go have lunch. Anyway, stick around. You never know when a gospel, according to Globan, will pop on Facebook. They're currently being done on Facebook Live. They're going to get moved to StreamYard so that they'll come up on my profile here on Facebook and hit the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. As long as we have them, we'll be able to share them to other places. Those are meant to try to be 30 minutes or less. I mean, really more or less, down to about 15 minutes or less if we can do it, so that they can get tagged on the at Boogie WT Bull profile, our X profile, because I'm spending more and more time on X and retweeting things that need to be retweeted, trying to come up with original tweets of my own, trying to expand Boogie with the Bull broadcasts and the Gospel According to Logan broadcasts onto X and see what happens. And yeah, Rumble will still be Rumble. We have another way we may try Rumble for a little bit and see how it works. And we're going to get back onto Streetlock, STREETLOC.com, and make sure that the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel is pinned right in the Boogie with the Bull True Patriot Talk group on Streetlock and on my profile, so that when we go live, we're live on Streetlock. Unfortunately, anyone watching on Streetlock will not have ability to be in the live chat. If you want to be in the live chat, you have to depart Streetlock and go to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and watch the broadcast there. You'll be able to take part in the YouTube live chat, which is just as fascinating as the Facebook live chat. Not as active, but just as live. Every once in a while, we get somebody from YouTube watching us. And Lisa Palmer, if you're still around and you watched or you see this, if you watched the podcast as soon as we're done, you're welcome to come on at some point. We never got you on. And always wanted to. Bringing you on as a Constitution expert would be a very good move. And maybe we'll get Jen Woodruff if she can join us that night to be on that broadcast. And anyone else. Anyway, I'm Dave Glover. You're not. Thank you for the privilege of using your time. We hit the first end. We're going to hit the second end.